Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. How's everybody doing out there? I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend so far. So I wanted to get into this. Yesterday, Gameology released a video, Marines react to Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I thought it'd be really cool to go over this video, see what the Marines talk about, see what the community has said in comparison, what we've talked about maybe here on this channel, and maybe we can get an idea of where the developers can fix a lot of these maybe small minor issues, but that end up being big issues in the long run as far as gameplay value when it comes to the Ghost Recon franchise. So let's go over this video, let's talk about a few things, and let's see what they have to say.
I'd like to know how his two long guns are attached to the outside of the bag there. Damn. Guy didn't hear him coming up the...
Yeah.
Okay, so right off the bat, the first thing that he's talked about, right? And this is what we've said a lot in the community, and we've discussed how the weapons are situated on our backs. How are the guns just there, right? They're just like magnetically sitting there. And I know this is already a system created with whether it's in the Anvil engine, and it's just easy for them to plug and play into their games. As you know, in all of their games, it looks like this, whether it's Ghost Recon, whether it's The Division, that's how the guns are. But perhaps moving forward, we can get more like a Metal Gear Solid 5 variation where one of the guns are slinged. Maybe if we're going to have one on our back, it could be maybe in a different, situated differently. I don't know, because we do have backpacks on. Or maybe they just do away with the two-gun system completely. You know, a lot of people in the community, we ask for the one primary for a reason, right? So maybe it really should be just one primary, that's it, and when you put it down to take your pistol out, you'll sling it. So I think that's first priority, first order of business in the game moving forward. They got to get rid of the two-gun system where they're just sitting there on your back. It's long overdue to have the primary really on a sling.
Guy didn't hear him coming up the...
Yeah.
Climbing up on the steel ladder.
What's in that pack? He's got some comm gear. He's got a radio in there. That's good.
What?
He's
covering his ears?
Nice. Other guy didn't hear that.
These guys are clearly oblivious to what's going on around them.
I mean, he looks...
Okay, so here we go. AI in the game. We all know the AI is completely oblivious. They're stupid. And we see it here, and they even notice it here. Whether it was you walking up a ladder and the guy's 2 feet in front of the ladder and can't hear you walking up it. That's one thing. Maybe, you know, they figure whatever. You know, there are some things we can play around with here. But as far as this, with the one guy getting his brains blown out 5 feet away, 10 feet away from his partner, and his partner doesn't realize it. There are some really glaring AI issues in this game that really need to be addressed in the next iteration of this game. They really need to focus on less of all the glitz and glamour that they try to put in this game, whether it was tiered loot and all the itemization on the loot. And they really need to focus on the things that matter, specifically the AI, the enemy AI, and really making it feel like you're going up against trained soldiers.
pretty cool.
Oh, and I love how you've got the long gun on your back again, and you can just do that forward roll.
You don't want your muzzle touching the ground, ever. I mean, just damaging the end of it to getting, most importantly, getting debris inside. You know, you clog it up enough, you could have a pretty catastrophic malfunction. So that thing's it's your sword. Never leave it in the dirt, ever. I mean, if you do, clean it quickly.
Exactly. If there's any downtime, you're taking that time to go through your weapon, clean it, check it, triple check it.
It's your girlfriend, treat her right.
Okay, so now this lies more in the video game side of things, where do you want to have things be too realistic in the game to where, you know, you don't have the forward tumble salt type roll in the game, which is kind of cool, but it is video game-ish. And do you want your guns to get dirty to the point where you're cleaning it? Now, they did add in Ghost Recon Breakpoint your gun getting dirty, which is really glitched and has been bugged since day one, where you just walk over dirt and all of a sudden your gun is dirty. You haven't even, went prone and crawling in the dirt. That's been a bug since day one. But the issue here is, would you want a system to where if you're getting in the dirt, if you're rolling, that your gun has the ability to maybe jam, get dirty? Do you have to clean it? Would you want a system like that? Or, that's something to be discussed. I'm not sure if I would want something like that, but something for the community to discuss and for the developers to think about. But I'm not sure. There's a fine line between what we want realistically and what is okay to put into a video game, and I think this is one of those things.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, I think every single bad guy in this has got blinders on or earplugs in to not hear any of this. I don't know.
You probably already have been heard. It's in the daytime too. I mean, most of the stuff that we did was at night.
Yeah, 99% of.
So here we go again, right? It's like a broken record. The AI is just bad, and I don't know if they did it this way for immersion, but I'll link a video up here if you guys want to see, for a lot of you who might be new to my channel who haven't seen it, where I discuss where we should take suppressors and suppressor mechanics in the future, and with how we need to start moving away from this idea that suppressors are just don't make any noise, and we can still create kind of a video game mechanic for suppressors. And you guys check out that video and see what you think about that. But the bottom line is, when you're inside a room and there are 3 guys basically 20 feet apart, and you're shooting all of them with an assault rifle, whatever he had there, nobody hears anything, there might be an issue there. I don't know how you guys feel about that. You let me know in the comments if you're okay with shooting a guy this way and the guy over there doesn't hear, even though he's 10 feet away. I think there could be something done as a system being built for suppressors in the future. It just depends on how they want to go about creating.
This stuff is at night. Depending on how you get into the area, if you're dropped in by a helicopter, it'll leave, and then nobody moves. And listen, stop, look, listen. You're waiting for everything to go back to normal, and then you start to move, and it's absolutely quiet. Did he trip, or was that intentional? I don't quite know.
Oh, that was great. He's got a drone now. That's cool.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. It was always there. They're 100% being used right now. It's becoming way more commonplace. Back in the early days of the war, 03, 04, it wasn't there.
Different services like the Army and the Marine Corps now on a larger scale have little small squad-sized helicopters that they use and different things, and there's shorter range on it and stuff, and it is, you can pull it out, undo it, take off, see what's going on, and bring it back.
Thermal in the daytime.
This guy loves the forward roll. Have you ever done a forward roll in the midst of a mission?
So this is something that's really cool with drones, and I know in this game we didn't want drones as in behemoth drones, but maybe something for the future of this genre, they can really change up the drones, or maybe have different types of drones that we use in the game. Something that could be discussed. But the drones that we've been using, I think they work. I think they're cool. I kind of miss a lot of the functionality that we had in Wildlands with our drones. I wish they would have brought some of that over to Breakpoint. Maybe they didn't want it to be an integral part of the mechanics that you use as a player. But the drone is cool, and as you can see from what they say, it is being used now, so that's cool.
No. Very, very Matrix / John Wick. He's rolling all over the place.
Yeah.
So this is another thing that I think borders on that fine line of realism and video game. And I think I'm cool with the video game part of this when it comes to the rolling mechanic or the dive to prone, which is a really silly animation. If you actually look at it, when your guy dives to prone, he face plants right on the floor. So I thought that animation could have been cleaned up a little bit. But what do you all think about the tumble salt in the game? It's not even really like a Splinter Cell tumble salt. It really is more like he just kind of dives himself on the ground and kind of rolls to get away from fire or whatnot. So I think it's pretty cool. I think these are the things where we can accept the video game part of where the game is compared to what we want realistically. I think the tumble salt move and things like that, dive to prone, are cool. You guys let me know in the comments what you think about that. How much do you use it, and do you like these types of things moving forward?
Nice little transition.
Yeah, those are pretty smooth.
I don't know how he's got it attached to the back. 'Cause, I mean, he's like
yeah.
the transition we call transition drills. Like I don't know how it's attaching. If it's like a magnet or something, I don't know. But usually it's got slings. You transition. You're throwing one to the back and you're grabbing simultaneously the other guns.
Or it's just your M4, your rifle's on the front of you, and you're transitioning. You literally just let it go. You've got your sling, like you said, and it falls down, and you transition to your pistol, and it's super smooth.
Hey. And there we go. The spoken straight from these Marines, these soldiers. It's time for the Ghost Recon franchise to basically get rid of this magnetic gun system that we have on our backs. It's time to give us the one primary weapon. Time to have it in a sling. So if we need to transition to our pistol, put it down, you can transition. And I mean, I don't know. It's a big decision for the developers, for the franchise, depending on where they want to go with the game. I know that they think it's better for the player to have the opportunity to go from an assault rifle to a sniper, or to have two weapons on them. But I don't know. Maybe there's a way to finagle it. If you want the second weapon on your back, then you can't have a backpack on. Or you guys let me know. Are you perfectly fine? Like, is this between realism and video game? Is this a fine line that you're willing to accept, where the guns are on the back, they're kind of magnetically on the sides, the transition is a little weird, there's no sling in the front for your primary? What do you think about that? Would you like to see this changed? Is this something moving forward in this franchise you want to see more realistic? One primary weapon on a sling, a transition to a pistol, and that's it? Let me know in the comments. We'll discuss some things. I think the developers really need to take a look at this, because the community from day one in Breakpoint and going back to Wildlands, when they made the Ghost mode, wanted one primary, and that's it. We want one primary. And when a lot of people want that one primary, you don't really need to throw it to the back. You know, if you're going to transition to your pistol, it should be a sling, and should be able to just drop it, transition to the pistol, and it's right there still. So that's something to consider for the developers moving forward within this franchise. It'll also differentiate it from the Division, which can keep that, because that's a little more arcadey, a little more unrealistic with looter shooter mechanics and things like that. So that's something to think about for this franchise.
A lot of man grunting.
Why didn't he just shoot him? Like, let's get in a wrestling match with a pistol in my hand. You will never ever see anybody in the U.S. military doing a combat role for any particular reason.
You would not compromise your weapons, your gear. There was comms gear too. I saw a radio in the back of that.
Yeah.
You damage that, or shit would fall out of it. You didn't have it secured. So thermals, I've definitely used, especially like when they're...
Well, this goes back to the tumble salt, and whether or not you want it too realistic or you want it super realistic. Like I said, I think the combat role, whatever you want to call it, it is like they said, it's not realistic. So many things on your back, especially, or compromising the integrity of your weapon. But for the sake of video games and for fun, I think something like this is okay. It is possible to switch out the animation from the combat roll, the tumble salt, to maybe a slide, maybe a type of something where the player runs and he kind of slides like a baseball slide, almost sliding in the cover. I don't know. That's to be debated. You guys let me know what you think in the comments.
There's a lot of foliage, there's a lot of green stuff in the air too, you know, like using thermals, you can really see the heat signature, either white hot or black hot. So like the heat signature is what this optic's picking up. So depending on kind of where you're at, the terrain, how hot it is, you will come off black hot or white hot. So the hottest part of your body is either going to be black or white. And the cold stuff is going to be opposite. It really sucks when it's like, you know, Iraq and it's 120 degrees out at night. Everything's hot, so it's kind of a
those first couple hours, this stuff doesn't work as well until you start to get that heat draw out of the ground and everything starts to cool down, that's when it's really a lot more valuable.
So right off the bat,
So here's something to discuss. Thermals. Are we stuck in the old school Terminator, Metal Gear Solid type thermal look? Do you guys want that type of white hot thermal look in the future of this franchise? What type of thermals do you think work best for you? Let me know in the comments. We'll discuss it. It's something for the developers to look at, to think about those thermal images that they showed. I think maybe moving forward, that's what thermals should look like in the game. You let me know in the comments what you guys think.
So right off the bat, I don't see a buddy. You know, I don't. He's by himself.
Doesn't work like that.
Doesn't really work like that. Honestly, I have nightmares of being by myself in Iraq or Afghanistan. It's the worst case scenario. So like maybe his whole team was killed and he's just trying to get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, it's absolutely, you never see it. Again, it's, you have the over dramatized gameplay and the over dramatized stuff you see in the movies. Totally unrealistic.
Moral of the story is always travel with a buddy, especially a buddy like this. For a Navy
He's
guy,
a better buddy
it's
if he
pretty
brings
good.
beer.
So, I mean, he's running all over the place. Like,
Well, he's lucky because every single person is completely unaware that he's in the area, even though basically everybody within a 2-mile radius is dead.
especially like creeping into a doorway,
Yeah.
you kind of want to
Pie the corner, like,
just
yep.
a little bit to see what's in there.
Yeah, looked fun, entertaining, but not completely realistic, of course.
Entertaining. I mean, parts
Yeah.
of it realistic. The gear looks good. I would like to play it. I've played the other Ghost Recons. A big fan of that whole series. I think nail on the coffin. You just don't move by yourself. You always got a buddy. So maybe that third-person view that was his buddy's eyes that wasn't really doing anything.
He's just like, dude, you go do this. I'm gonna film.
Yeah,
it.
I got you, man. You got this.
You got it, bro.
Yeah, but other than that, I think it's pretty good for sure. Marines do not
Salute indoors.
indoors. Yeah, I'll get jumped in the parking lot.
Yeah, it's bad.
So, what did you guys think of their opinions? What did you guys think of the video? It's a cool video. I like what Gameology does with these videos. Really cool. I think their reactions were on point. I think a lot of the things that were looked at were little things in the game. You know, they didn't get into a lot of what we see and talk about within the game, but a lot you can really see the major glaring issues that this game has with the AI that they brought up time and time again, which is walking around shooting people. The AI is completely oblivious. It's something that Ubisoft Paris needs to really nail in the next iteration of this game. AI really needs to, they need some serious programmers to dive deep into the AI code and really work on their AI systems. It's what makes or breaks a game, really. And in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, it's really hard to immerse yourself in a game when the AI is just completely oblivious. So, and then there were other things that they discussed, you know, rolling around with all the gear or the gun, well, the guns being on your back and kind of feeling magnetized the way you get them. They're not on a sling, and I think that's something that we could look at moving forward, because a lot of people ask for the one primary. I know a lot of people in Delta Company were pushing for the one primary, and it seems, I don't know what the developers, I don't know if it's really on their radar how important these little things are to the community and to the player base. And I don't know if moving forward we need to keep this game like a, you know, Grand Theft Auto, where, you know, you have access to various guns. I think we can mill sim this game a little bit more. We can push it more towards realism, where you know, you created classes, right? And in the beginning you had limited the classes to certain guns, and the community was like, oh no, we want this, and you guys balked on that. You turned around, you said, okay, anybody can have anything, kind of making classes redundant. You know what? Sometimes you got to take a hard stance on things, and honestly, this would be something that I would be okay with. Come into the game and you don't choose a class that is defined by the developers. You choose a class that is defined by your loadout. So you come into the game, you pick a submachine gun, you roll out. That's all you have until maybe you go to a bivouac or safe house and you switch out your weapons, or like that. Or like an immersive mode, you grab a different type of weapon, a different gun, and you could change your how you're going to attack a base that way. But bottom line is, at the end of the day, let your players choose what they're going to do and what type of class they're going to play. Grab a, you know, an M4, basically you're gonna run that type of assault class, and you're not gonna be deadly from too far, and maybe up close that it won't be as good as a submachine gun with the shooting speed or whatnot. But that I do understand there has to be give and take within the dynamics of how you're creating a game with these weapons. The point being is that a lot of people like the one primary solution. A lot of people don't like rolling out with so many things. It feels unrealistic. It's a little too easy, where you're trying to create a game where around roles, but you're giving too many roles because people can roll out with too many weapons. I think putting one primary on a sling, having it there, going from the one primary to the pistol in transition would be really cool, how it was shown in the video. I think that would be something cool moving forward. You guys let me know what you think about that. Do you prefer the two primaries? You want to be able to snipe and shoot and this and that? You let me know. We could discuss it. But all in all, I think the video was really cool. I like that they went over Ghost Recon Breakpoint, especially since we're all Ghost Recon fans out there stopping by this channel or subbing. I've been covering Ghost Recon Breakpoint since day one. A big fan of the game. So anyway, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know what you thought of their opinions. Let me know how you think, from what they said, where Ubisoft Paris can take the franchise moving forward. Whether it's the thermals, whether it's the one primary, having it slinged and not having guns magnetized on the back, AI being fixed, things like that. And then, they talked about the buddy system where you should always roll out with a buddy. Granted, the Ghost Recon Breakpoint narrative and story was you're behind enemy lines, shot out of the sky. So that was something that was baked into the game. But moving forward, maybe should Ubisoft Paris kind of stray away from telling stories like that and stick to what Ghost Recon is, which is basically a squad-based mechanics, which we will be getting soon with the implementation of AI. AI will be coming back soon, in case you guys didn't know. Probably late summer, maybe around August, in my opinion. But with 2.0.5 coming out in June, I would expect AI a couple months after that. Maybe they did say sometime in 2020 summer. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. We'll kick it, we'll talk. And everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you all in the next video. All right, everybody. Peace.